Nobody indeed. What is good? Welcome into the Overs College Baseball Week 8 edition. It's good to see you. My name is Alan Bell here at Driving the Line. Hope you are doing great on this. Well, we're recording Tuesday, March 31st. You might watch this later in the week, but recording this live on Tuesdays. Whale said, gonna miss the show. Daughter has a game at 7. Good call. Have a good evening, crew. Do small things with great love. Whale, I love it, man. It's great to see you, buddy. And best of luck to your daughter. Hope she just crushes tonight. 4 for 4 at the plate. Let's go. Big Tony, good evening, crew. Good evening, Tony. So good to see you, man. Everybody make sure to follow Tony. Twitter, all of that. All right, let's jump into it now. Week 8, college baseball. All right. Georgia pictured here. What do we have in terms of the top 25? Big shakeup this week. Number 5, Georgia at number 4, Mississippi State. Right out of the gate, we're going. Vanderbilt at number 20, Texas A&M. Number 7, Florida State at number 10, Virginia. Number 8, Southern Miss at Old Dominion. Number 15, Oregon at Michigan. Number 22, Boston College at number 6, North Carolina. Look at Boston College in the top 25. Shout out to BC. Number 9, Oregon State at Lamar. Oregon State cracking the top 10. Missouri at Kentucky. Kentucky ranked 24th in the country. Number 23, UCF. Shout out to them getting the top 25 at number 13, West Virginia. Ole Miss at number 21, Florida. They're back in the top 25. South Alabama at 14, Coastal Carolina. Penn State at number 19, Nebraska. 17th ranked Arkansas. At number 18th ranked Auburn. There we go. Texas, number 2, at South Carolina. Alabama, 16th ranked Alabama. Look at that. 16th ranked Alabama at number 11, Oklahoma. Number 12, USC. At number 1, UCLA. The Battle of Los Angeles. Here we go. Tizzle. Yes, sir. Number 25, Arizona State at Arizona. And number 3, Georgia Tech at Cal. So what do you think this weekend? What stands out to you? Southern Cal at UCLA. That's a huge. I mean, there's so many big ones. Arkansas and Auburn. Alabama at Oklahoma. I mean, keep going down the list, man. It is a huge one. Georgia at Mississippi State, Florida State at Virginia. Oh my goodness, man! And Vanderbilt. Look, I was there this weekend in Nashville. Vanderbilt walked off Tennessee 3 straight games. Yeah. So, all right, let's jump into it here now. All right, so that's the top 25. Now the leaderboard here. And Jeff, good evening, AB and crew. Good evening, Jeff. Good to see you, man. Tizzle, Georgia Tech might drop 100 on Cal. Yes, they might. Speaking of, all right, team leaderboards here. Home runs. Look at Georgia leading the country with 85. Vanderbilt, 62. Arizona State has 58. Pittsburgh has 56. And Oregon has 55. Georgia Tech leading the country in terms of team runs. As Tizzle was saying, they might put up 100 on Cal. Yeah, they put up 307 this year already. My goodness, Miami 288. Texas Tech, 286. UNLV, 286. And Georgia, 275 runs on the year. That's hitting. Now, let's look at pitching. Who do we need to know about? Who are our top 5s? All right. In terms of strikeouts, pitching staffs in full. LSU, 359 strikeouts on the year. Cal Baptist, 351. Oregon State, 346. Wake Forest, 346. And Ole Miss, 331. All right. You look at team ERA. USC continues to dominate. 2.64 ERA on the country. Auburn, 2.73. Texas, 2.85. Man, Texas, this team is just quiet handling their business. UCLA, Texas, Mississippi State. Georgia Tech's in that, but they're not quiet about it. But Texas getting the job done, man, at the plate and on the mound. 2.85 ERA as a team. UC Santa Barbara, 2.95 team ERA. And Cal Baptist, 3.02. Look at Cal Baptist, man, showing out. Got to give huge respect there. All right, coming in hot. So we use this to identify teams that are coming in hot. Had a good week last week, right? Doesn't mean that we're necessarily betting them every time, but this coming in hot list really hasn't changed too terribly much all year long. UCLA, number 1 team in the country. They went 4-0 last week, taking on USC at home. Big one there. Number 2, Texas went 3-1 last week at South Carolina this weekend. We're definitely going to be able to, we're going to be able to bet all these teams, but Texas and South Carolina, circle that one. I know it's on the road, but South Carolina might not match up well with Texas. If Texas is hitting as well as they are pitching, it's going to be trouble, man. Number 3, Georgia Tech went 3-0 last week. They're at Cal. Yeah, we'll be all over Georgia Tech. Mississippi State, 4th in the country, went 4-0 last week. against Ole Miss. They are at home against number 5 Georgia, as we spoke about, and number 6 North Carolina. They went 4-0 last week at home against number 22 Boston College. All right, now the opposite. Okay, teams that aren't playing well at all did not have themselves a good week. Now we could bet on them. Take a look at who they're playing. Might circle but say, "Oh, this team's bouncing back." No questions whatsoever. Or, we might have a problem. So let's look at these first two because they're playing each other this week. Number 14, Arkansas went 1-3 last week, swept by Florida at home. They are on the road at number 18, Arkansas, or number 18, Auburn. I'm sorry. So, well, let's just do the inverse. Number 18, Auburn, 1-3 last week, swept at Alabama. And they're taking on their Arkansas. Sorry, I got my rankings incorrect there. I didn't change that to 17 there. But yes, anyways, this is a massive series. Auburn, one bad week, whatever, it's going to happen. Or do they have an issue? We're going to talk about Auburn in a second and their run production. But Arkansas here, buddy, it's been a roller coaster all over the board. If there were ever a time Arkansas needed a big weekend, this is it. That said, though, buddy, you have Auburn's full attention, I assure you there. So we're going to be able to bet these games. They are going to be tight. Oklahoma, 11th ranked, went 0-3 last week against Texas. They're taking on number 16, Alabama at home. Keep an eye on that series there. Alabama playing great. Ole Miss, 0-4 last week. Brutal. Now, they were playing Mississippi State, so Mississippi State's pretty good. Now, they're at number 21, Florida this weekend, so look out because Florida, I mean, they obviously they had a good weekend in Arkansas, but they were on the rebound, right? They were a team on the bounce back, and they bounced back nicely. So we'll see if any teams on the left can do what Florida's been doing, and if Ole Miss can handle Florida in Gainesville this weekend. Tennessee went 1-3, swept by Vanderbilt. Got walked off on Friday, got walked off on Saturday in 16 innings, and got walked off on Sunday in a grand slam. Vanderbilt has had like 7 walk-offs in the last 9 games. It's insane. Look at this. You know what you don't see beside Tennessee and LSU? Neither of them ranked. How weird is that? Yeah. So Tennessee here taking on LSU. What a massive, massive weekend that this is, because both of these teams, we're going to talk about them in a second, they need a good weekend more than anyone. All right, trends and note coming into week 8. Vanderbilt, we just talked about them. They won 3 straight by walk-off, like 7 of their last 9 games. All right, now, walk-off doesn't really give you much to bet on, except other than the fact that Vanderbilt's scoring runs, Vanderbilt's winning games, and they're tight, right? So great live play. Now, I mean, I think the walk-offs will tail off, right? But this Vanderbilt team is playing great, man. They're feeling it. They're feeling it. This team is playing well. Georgia Tech averaging 11.4 runs per game on the year by themselves. Now, any team that's averaging 11 or more runs and playing against the talent that they do, yeah, we're just going to continue to roll with that stat. 10 straight BYU games have reached 9+ runs. Not the largest number in the world, 9+, right? You're not going to get many BYU 8.5 games. But what I'm saying is that keep an eye now, and we've talked about it for a couple weeks. Keep an eye on BYU and Utah games at home. Nothing against them on the road. They can hit there too. But they are launch pads, and it's starting to show out. So, unfortunately, BYU and Utah are both on the road this weekend. But that being said, keep an eye there, especially when BYU, Utah are playing at home. Doesn't mean that we're playing BYU or Utah, but you might take a look at the opposing team. You might just take a look at overs. 10+ runs scored in 26 of 27 Texas Tech baseball games this year. Yes, this weekend, they finally had the first Texas Tech game of the season that didn't get to 10 runs or more. Final score is 5-4. They got to 9. They almost got there. They almost did. But yeah, Texas Tech games, keep an eye on their opponent week after week because Texas Tech gives up runs, but certainly Texas Tech scores them too. Ohio, Okay. No, not good. Ohio, 5-22 on the year. Okay. They're allowing, on average, 10.1 runs per game to their opponents. Yeah. Overs on Ohio games. Opponents on Ohio games. We might not get to bet them much anymore now that, this thing's kind of running away. All right. Under the radar series. What do we have? Okay. So we just talked about it. Pull this up full screen. Excuse me. LSU at Tennessee. So LSU, man, 19-10 on the year. Tennessee, 18-10 on the year. Both these teams have losing records in the SEC. Losing records. So we talked about Tennessee and Vanderbilt last weekend, and it played out to what we thought. I didn't think that it would be 3 walk-offs, right? But we thought it was going to be a tight series. This one's going to be similar. You're going to get some strange totals with this. The books aren't going to know what to do because Tennessee can pitch, and we know LSU can. But we also know both these teams could definitely give up runs, and hitting has been a little inconsistent, right? So keep an eye on this series for sure. Tony, Ole Miss and Tennessee might be in trouble. Yeah, they might be. They might be for sure. Wake Forest at Pittsburgh. All right, Wake Forest, 20-8 on the year. This Wake Forest team is good. They're not great, but they're good. And Pittsburgh, that's another team we need to circle. They're getting better by the day. 19-7, putting up a ton of runs. They hit a bunch of home runs over the weekend. So keep an eye on Pittsburgh here. It's going to be a good series. Louisville at Duke. Louisville, 18-11 on the year. Duke, 18-12. Great ACC series here. Both teams need it. Both teams looking to host regionals. These two teams can play, man. What a breakdown that was. Hey, these two teams can play, bro. No, man, it's going to be solid. Now, keep an eye on the totals early. You're going to see low totals, but it should bounce up nicely depending on what weather we have this weekend. Tizzle, UC Santa Barbara needs a series win bad, bro. Bad. Yes. Right here, UC Santa Barbara at Cal Poly. Now, it's not going to come easy. Santa Barbara 16-9 on the year. Cal Poly 16-10 on the season. We'll talk about Santa Barbara in a second, but the issue is that this team averages less than 7 runs per game, and they're starting to give up a few more. Just not good margins, man. I mean, this team is good, but the margins that when we're betting them, we have them in a 2-leg money line parlay. Ooh, they're risky, man. Good, but we're gonna have to pick our spots for sure. This might not be a spot. Cal Poly can play. Notre Dame at NC State. So Notre Dame 15-9 on the season. NC State 18-10. Both these teams are going to be making some noise. They're good. I don't know how far they're going to go, but they're going to make some noise. This will be a great series here. So those are our under the radar series. All right, let's get to it. The rotation. Now, if you're brand new, what we do here at Driving the Line, we use a rotation of 10 teams. There's 2 slides. You'll see the next one in a second. But this sport is built large. There are a lot of games and there are a lot of teams, and it's tough to keep track of everything, right? So it doesn't mean that the 10 teams that we have in our rotation, that we're automatically betting them. However, for the most part, we generally are, right? So that's how I use this, right? I build this to identify 10 teams that each weekend I'm looking at them first thing, right? Like it is in my program is what I do. I look at these teams first, then we go from there. And for the most part, these teams have been hanging tough, man. They've been helping us out big time. Look at UCLA, 25-2 on the year, averaging 9.5 runs per game, allowing 3.3. That's an excellent margin. What is that? 6.2 runs per game on average of margin. Oh my goodness, man. And look at it. Went 4-0 last week. Those kind of margins right there. Whew, good luck. Mississippi State, same deal. 24-4, 9.7 runs per game, 3.4. Went 4-0 last week. Numbers like that, they're going to continue to do it, man. These are excellent margins. Georgia Tech, 22-5, 11.4 runs per game. And the thing, again, they're only giving up 4.5. Now, I know that that's larger than most of the other teams on here by a run. That said, You're scoring 11.4 runs per game. All right, I'll give you one. You all right? I mean, that's 7-run margin right there. Georgia Tech is just they're a parlay dream right now. They went 3-0 last week. North Carolina 24-4-1 on the year, 8.7 runs per game. Man, North Carolina's getting the job done. 3.6 giving up. Again, this North Carolina team is outstanding. Went 4-0 last week. Margins like that, you could see it. Virginia. Okay, so now we're starting to wobble a little bit. Virginia, 22-7. They went 2-2 last week. All right, they're scoring 9.4 runs per game. Tremendous. You will never hear me complain ever about that. The problem is that Virginia is giving up runs here. All right, that runs per game average every week keeps going up. 3.9, 4.2, 4.6, 5.8, right? Now, the competition level, I get it. The ACC is no joke, man. It's every week you're dealing with this, and it's not going to be easy this weekend either. They got Florida State. Yeah. So, yeah. But again, keep an eye on the runs that they're giving up. All right. Their margins are starting to get a little out of whack, and that's why you see a 2-2. But again, competition level. USC 26-3. Look at that, man. 7 runs per game on average, allowing 2.6. Tremendous, man. Now, would we like to see USC closer to 8 runs per game? Of course. But I'm not going to complain. This USC team is unbelievable. They're unbelievable, man. This pitching staff's incredible, and it just keeps going. And they believe, too. This team has a lot of fun playing. They enjoy playing with each other. You know what I mean? This team, I like this SC team a lot. This is going to be a massive weekend against UCLA. Massive weekend. And USC's going into it light and loose saying, hey, all the pressure's on you, bro. Not me. Southern Miss, 21-7 on the year. Okay. Another team. Are we wobbling? We feeling good. 6.1 runs per game on average. Would like to have that number higher. 3.8 runs per game allowed on average this year. Not great margins here with Southern Miss right now. Then they went 2-2 last week. Again, I believe fully in this team. They're excellent. But what we're going to face with them is that, unfortunately, some of these teams that are just built on pitching, and again, I'm not coming at Southern Miss hitting. I'm not coming at them at all. But, you average 6.1 runs per game. It's going to be tough. We're going to run into trouble. So Southern Miss, again, we're going to bet them. We did last weekend for sure. But we're going to have to pick our spots. Florida State, 21-6 on the year. Don't necessarily have to pick our spots too terribly much with Florida State. Playing great. 8.6 runs per game, 3.9 allowing. Went 2-2 last week. No qualms with Florida State. Just get out and score. Clemson. Okay, now we might have issues here. Tony, that Florida State series might scream over depending on that number. 100%, bro. 100%, I agree. All right, so Clemson, we might have issues. 19-10. They went 1-3 last week, and it's been like this for a little bit. 6.8 runs per game, giving up 4.3 runs per game. Now, playing against the talent level that they had, it's going to happen. But the problem is that we just don't have a ton of margin to work with, right? 2.5 runs per game. It's tough. So, not that we're giving up on Clemson. We're not. But when we look at risk, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Clemson's risky. Tizzle, still a good team, but you never know who's that affects them. 100%. Yeah, Tizzle, Florida State lost their best player. Tread carefully. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that part, we're going to see how they react to that because, I think they'll be all right, but that's a lot of production. Look at Big Greg, California Wager. Let's go, bro. Good to see you, man. Yeah, Big Greg in the house. I love it. Yeah. So anyway, so Clemson, man, these margins are tight. We'll be looking at them, but if be careful. Auburn, 20-7 on the season, 6.6 runs per game on average, 3.1 runs per game allowed on average. They went 1-3 last week, 0-3 against Alabama. So, okay, number one, Alabama's a really good baseball team. Number two, those are going to happen. However, with Auburn, it's the same thing that we've talked about really all year. And the same thing we were just talking about with Clemson, the same thing we're going to talk about with Southern Miss, is that when you are averaging 6.5 runs per game, it's going to be tight. Now, Auburn, top 2, top 3 pitching staff in the country. Absolutely. But that run production, man, we're just going to have to get it up. And it will, but I don't know how much. Like, I think I think Auburn probably very similar to USC, right? Probably end up somewhere around 7, 3 and some change that they'll be giving up. But this Auburn team's good. Just keep an eye though, because if these margins, if they're not scoring runs, man, it is tough to keep conference opponents below 4 runs. You know what I mean? So just keep an eye there. Greg, happy Tuesday, friends. Irvine plus 5.5. West Virginia, Arizona over 12.5. Campbell plus 3.5. Go with the Camels. I love it. Perfect. Okay, there we go. All right, get you out of here. That's week 8 in college baseball. Like I said, we record this on Tuesdays. If you're catching it after the fact of live, perfectly fine. Get you all ready for the weekend, and we'll be set up. All right, we'll be live every morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Until then, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets, and we will see you soon. Thanks.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody.